an exciting update as of right now when it comes to XCN? I think so, and let me explain why. Because remember my last video, I was talking about how Onyx had a poll kind of proposing adopting the Goliath white paper as Onyx's blueprint to unlock scalability and also, for instance, long-term sustainability. Now, again, allegedly that poll went through, and it's going to be hours before it fully, I think, becomes implemented, at least allegedly from what I can assume from the update post that they made. But I still think it's awesome. I mean, just think about it, right? Goliath is allegedly going to be this layer one blockchain for the world of finance that some people think could be good, some people think is going to be okay. Who knows? Because I have not even seen the mainnet yet, let alone even the testnet. But I'm just saying, I still like this nonetheless because I think this, if anything, kind of puts forward the narrative as Onyx being really focused on this, right? It kind of gives me the vibe that they're kind of all in terms of believing in the future of what Goliath could be, because who knows what Goliath is ever going to do moving forward. Only time will tell. But then at the same time, what I do like about it is that they're actually kind of committed to that. Some other projects out there, they say they're going to do this, do that, but then they don't really feel that committed. But I kind of like this because initially, when Onyx was talking about Goliath, a lot of people thought, come on, they're not really going to care about this. But then, as of right now, it's kind of proving that, right? It's kind of showcasing that, hey, Onyx actually is still paying attention to this, and they haven't forgotten about that. So I like that when it comes to Onyx. It shows dedication, I think it shows perseverance, and keep in mind, the price of XCN, despite doing way better than initially when I was first talking about it, there's a pretty big pullback, but they're still doing this anyways. So I like it, again, when it comes to Onyx. Now, keep in mind though, right, the testnet when it comes to Goliath planned to launch in Q3 of this year and Q1 of next year is when the mainnet is planned to be launched. However, even though that may take some time, I think it could be a good narrative for Onyx because usually we see many blockchain gaming projects out there, many metaverse projects out there. They say they're going to do this, they say they're going to do that, but then they never really launch anything. But then, for whatever reason, their native tokens, in some cases, have done pretty well. And I think that kind of showcases that sometimes people care about the narrative, they care about the story. Now, the good thing about Onyx, though, is that they actually have a clear timeline, so it's not just all going to be just updates, at least to my perspective. But I still think it's pretty good nonetheless, especially if they can really pull through and launch the test net and let's say it does pretty good. And hypothetically, let's say maybe it happens during a time when altcoins start recovering. That could maybe be, sort of, I would say, something that I do find exciting because, when it comes to Onyx, if let's say they launch the testnet right now, when it comes to Goliath, I feel like some would care, but many really wouldn't care that much. So again, it's not like Onyx is, I don't think, a project that only cares about hype, but sometimes launching a good project, let's say a good product, when it comes to just anything, I'm not talking about just like Onyx in general. Let's say a company wants to launch a good product or something like that. Wouldn't it make sense to kind of launch it during a time when people actually care about it or, when there's actually attention, as opposed to when there's no attention? It could be a good product, but if it gains no attention, kind of what's the point? So maybe could the timing of Goliath, at least the testnet, be a good one? Only time will tell, but I'm still very optimistic to maybe what Onyx could do in the future because so far, when it comes to Onyx, I can't really say it has disappointed me in the grand scheme of things because yes, it has a major pullback and I didn't, leave or exit Onyx, or should I say XCN, when the price was doing way better. I just held the entire time anyways. But even besides that, I'm still believing this because if I believed in XCN back then when it was way lower, it's just kind of, why wouldn't I believe in it right now when it's way higher than before, even despite the pullback? But that's just my mentality. Now, let's say XCN goes to the price of 25 cents, hypothetically speaking, even though nothing I say is financial advice. It's around a 17x from here. Market cap at that point would be around $8.5 billion, considering current circulating supply. I mean, some people out there like to say, oh, that's not good and all this type of stuff. Well, what is Shiba Inu going to do in the next 6 to 10 months? Is that going to do a 17x hypothetically? I don't know about that, right? What can Bitcoin do in the next 6 to 10 months? Some people are arguably saying 300 grand. That's slightly less than 3x from here. So this is kind of my mentality. Now, I get it. There's no telling what XCN is going to do moving forward, but I just kind of like how the market cap isn't too massive in the grand scheme of things, hypothetically yet, at least at the time of this recording, and I like the community, I like the exchange listings, so all I can do right now is stay patient, but I do like the updates when it comes to Onyx. And again, I'm looking forward to what it's going to do, maybe moving forward and maybe more updates. But again, ultimately speaking, whenever altcoins or XCN decides to wake up, if ever, I cannot control that. All I can do is wait and stay patient, and I'm going to do that. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's Bonnie the Captain, and I'll catch you all in the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.